welcome to this video. In today's video, we are going to see how to add an extra layer of protection to our switches in order to protect our spanning tree. And the protection is called BPDU Guard. Now, BPDU Guard is only active on interfaces on the switch which are configured to be in port fast. And then without BPDU Guard enabled on your switch, a switch that doesn't support spanning tree can connect to your network and create loops within your network. Also, an attacker can configure a switch with a lower bridge ID to be the root and connect it to your network, and then all traffic will be channeled through the attacker switch because it's the root of our spanning tree, because our spanning tree has no protection. So in this video, I have 3 switches over here: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, which happens to be part of our infrastructure's network. And I have PC1 here, which also happens to be a workstation within our infrastructure. But switch 5 over here is the attacker switch, or let's say a switch that doesn't support spanning tree. So I'll boot my switches on. So on switch 2, I'm going to open the web interface, and I'm also going to open a web interface for switch 3. So at the moment, I will do show spanning tree summary, and you can see BPDU Guard is globally disabled by default on the switch. So I'm going to go ahead and enable BPDU Guard on the switch. So I'll do spanning tree port fast BPDU Guard edge BPDU Guard default. So by default, BPDU Guard has been enabled globally on this switch, and I will configure same for PC3. So spanning tree port fast edge BPDU Guard default. So at the moment, I have BPDU Guard globally enabled on our switch. So I'll do show spanning tree summary, and as you can see, BPDU has been globally enabled on this switch. Same applies to switch 2 over here, has been enabled. Now for BPDU Guard, we need to configure our ports on the switch to be in port fast. Now port fast enables workstations or client PCs within our infrastructure to quickly transition into forwarding state. So an interface connecting to a client or workstation within our infrastructure, that port will be configured as a port fast for that port to be quickly transitioned to the forwarding state. Now this scenario helps in spanning tree convergence, and then also it helps during on a network where DHCP is in effect. So on this switch 2, I'll go to interface range E/01 to 2. Let me check on the interface connecting to switch 2. Okay, and I'll do spanning tree port fast. So configuring this port interface 01 and then 02 to be in port fast means the port will only accept traffic from client and workstations other than switches, because switches send BPDUs and switches use BPDUs to communicate with each other, and therefore the port is expecting a client or workstation within our infrastructure other than a switch to be connected to it. So I'll configure the port, and it's currently active. So I'll go back, and then I'll try to connect a switch to interface 01 and see what really happens. So first of all, I connect PC1 Ethernet 0 to interface 02, and nothing should happen because the port is expecting a client PC or another workstation other than a switch. So I'll try to connect switch 5 and see what really happens on interface 01, and then you should get a message that the port has been disabled, and as you can see, that's the message over here. Adding an extra layer of protection to our topology, no other switch can be configured to use our network unless it's authorized. So therefore, the port that switch we want to add to our spanning tree or our network will be configured to use no port fast, and therefore can send BPDUs or can be attached to our network. In your scenario, or you would happen to be in an IT infrastructure whereby you'll be configuring multiple interfaces, and therefore you should use the range of interfaces to configure, just like I did for PC2 over here. Interface range to configure port fast on those interfaces. Now it's been quite a long video, but I hope you do understand, and thank you for watching this video. See you in my next video.